50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind.
But look, 50, boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so?
Lil Meech didn't just betray 50 Cent. He allegedly ran off with $10 million and teamed up with 50's biggest enemy to do it. After years of backing him, mentoring him, and even paying for his rehab, 50 was left blindsided by the ultimate double cross. Now, with Rick Ross in the picture and private texts being exposed, 50 Cent will have to do things the hard way. Before the betrayal, there was a bag, and 50 handed it to them. When 50 Cent tapped Demetrius, Lil Meech, Flenory Jr. to play his own father, the infamous Big Meech, in the Star series BMF, it wasn't just casting. It was a life-changing blessing. Lil Meech wasn't an actor. He was trying to get on as a rapper. Nobody in Hollywood was giving him a shot. But 50, he saw something bigger. He sent the kid to acting school for 2 years, paid for it all out of pocket, and molded him into a TV star. That alone would be enough. But 50 didn't stop there. Behind the scenes, he was wiring money to the family. According to Fif, he helped them secure over $5 million in clean legal money, the kind of money they could build a future with. This wasn't just a gig. 50 had bigger plans. Spin-offs, films, multi-season arcs. If everything went right, the BMF brand was poised to make $30 to $50 million over time. And for a family whose empire had once run on the streets, this was the chance to legitimize it all. Meanwhile, Big Meech watched from behind bars as his son rose to fame. His name back in the spotlight, but this time on prime time. And the man responsible. Not a lawyer, not a homie, not a rapper, a businessman, 50 Cent. He kept the BMF brand alive, made it a household name, and positioned the next generation to eat. But that's not all. Because 50 didn't just keep things going. He stayed humble about it. For years, he downplayed his role, never asked for public credit, never flexed about the money he spent. Till now. 'Cause things changed. And people are wondering why 50 is so bothered over some lost money. The biggest theory. He was really counting on it. Even Rick Ross knows 50 is struggling.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters.
The shift came after Big Meech got released from prison in October. The man who built one of the biggest drug empires in U.S. history was finally free. Everyone expected a 50 and Meech reunion. A press tour, photo ops, maybe even a co-produced BMF documentary with the real man himself. But what happened next? It shocked everybody, including 50. Meech didn't pop out with 50. He popped out with Rick Ross. Yes, that Rick Ross. The same one who's been 50's sworn enemy for over a decade. And it wasn't just a handshake or some quick meet and greet at an industry party. They were doing full-on promotions, car shows, a welcome home concert. Meech was on Instagram, posing with Rosie like they were day ones. No shout-out to 50. No thanks. No acknowledgement. Nothing. For 50, this wasn't just betrayal. This was disrespect, and it was calculated. He didn't say anything at first. But if you know 50, you know silence doesn't mean peace, it means he's loading the clip. But here's the real question. Where did the money go? Because it's definitely not in the family's bank accounts. 50 said he helped the family secure over $5 million from the show. Legal, legitimate money. He literally wrote, "Why old boy didn't look out for me? I sent him to acting school, big screech. All your people that was out did nothing for him. You come home thinking you the Black Pablo Escobar and fed him up. I helped your family make over $5 million in legit dollars. It's not my fault it's all gone. You think people don't see. You wanna shine so bad you're wearing the baby's jewelry. B. Give the baby back his jewelry. And yet, somehow Big Meech was broke. Lil Meech too. So broke in fact, that he's literally selling promo videos for $500 a pop.
Look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you wanna make your mama one of them walking stars thing put down there. Your mama live, her own walking star.
He really hit him where it hurts.
We call it renderings. You had the renderings, then you try to go get them loans, and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G-Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. You're hustler.
And 50 couldn't wait to clown him. He hopped on Instagram and posted, "Big Screech got Meech doing promos. $500 a pop. Get you one while it lasts." But wait, 50 wasn't done. Not even close. Just when you think he's tapped out of disrespect, he hits post on a whole GoFundMe. Just a GoFundMe. For who? Big Meech. Now let's be real. There's a 90% chance 50 made it himself, just to be petty, because that's exactly his brand of chaos. But regardless of who made it, 50 posted it, and the internet lost its mind. The GoFundMe straight up claimed that Meech needed help paying his bills, allegedly a $30,000 a month Airbnb. And of course, 50 added his own messy little caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb." Then he sprinkled in some extra shade. "That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control." And still, 50 wasn't done. He spun the block again, this time dragging 42 Doug into the mess. 50 posted that Doug allegedly gave Big Meech $100,000, then added, "Your daddy, my ninja. You made a mistake giving Screech $100,000. You could have given that to your ninjas. You've always been hard-headed." And of course, Doug clapped back on IG, standing 10 toes down for Meech in Detroit. "Can't no ninja convince me to go against Detroit. Either show me big bro a rat, or shut the F up talking to me." But then comes the real question. How does a kingpin, with a hit TV series under his belt, end up begging for rent money? Tony Yeo gave us a clue. In an interview he said that after Meech got out, he was literally asking Lil Baby for a handout.
What up, though? Boss of all bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you got, I'm trying to make it go up. Hit me right now.
Me and Murder sitting in the backyard, and he's like, "Yo, Lil Baby ain't giving me no money." He pulled up in the Ferrari truck. He had 4 pockets full. And I'm looking at this like, yo, this ninja tripping. Lil Baby's not obligated to give you nothing.
Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, yo, Lil Baby ain't give me no money. He came in the Ferrari truck. He had the Ferrari truck. He had 4 pockets full. I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, this nigga tripping. Like, Lil Baby he's not obligated to give you nothing.
He was even complaining that his son wasn't helping him financially. Now let's talk Lil Meech, because he's not exactly helping the situation.
You was with 50, he's talking about stuff in the future, he made your family money. You know, you would think you would be a little bit appreciative, but motherfuckers don't have to be loyal to 50 in business. I guess that's how Meech felt, because he's his own boss. You know, but when you take Little Meech and you put him in acting school, you know, you take him from Detroit. I remember him rapping when he was rapping and nobody was helping him from what I seen. Cause I remember when Lil Meech was rapping. Nobody helped him, and then 50 put him in acting school, kept it on the low, and he made all this money. You understand what I'm saying? But to be young and have money is...
According to Tony Yeo, Lil Meech is blowing through money like he's allergic to savings. $100,000 on Chrome Hearts jeans, $500,000 on a BMF chain. Like, sir, your dad is struggling to pay rent, and you're out here dripped out in designer denim and Richard Mille watches. And then had the nerve to get salty when 50 unfollowed him. It was giving broke with money. Yayo didn't hold back.
That was like a bad management move, but from the streets, they're gonna do what they wanna do. And 50's crazy. Know that. Y'all know 50's crazy. So, and then on Meech, and I look at that was bad management too, because we just was over there. We just took a picture with you at your house. But I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing, because what Lil Meech said about the Ferrari.
There were rumors that 50 was pissed, not because they spent the money, but because they spent it recklessly. No plan, no investments, no stacking for the future, just flex and fumble.
If 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And, you know, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people. He's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Lil Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross.
And just when you thought 50 was done violating Lil Meech, he hit final boss level petty. Word on the street. 50 allegedly bought the halfway house that Meech is legally required to stay in. Let that sink in. Big Meech, the man who once ran a billion-dollar empire and had rappers and politicians shook, is now allegedly paying rent to 50 Cent. And of course, 50 being 50, he didn't let that slide quietly. In an interview, he grinned and said, "Business is business. I'ma put that ninja on toilet duty, cleaning up felonish all day." So technically, Meech might be out of prison, but he's not free in the slightest. And fans were eating it up. One said, 50 is a real savage and has always stood on business. Nothing but respect to him. This is the greatest burn I've ever heard. 50 just made my whole month. But not everybody's buying the story. Some people think this is just classic 50 trolling, all cap. This story right here is complete and utter bulls. According to this man, Meech might not even be in a halfway house.
As we know, Meech didn't actually leave for the halfway house. He's on home confinement because of the First Step Act and winning his 821 motion in federal court. After spending nearly 20 years in federal prison, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery left the federal prison in Coleman, Florida, Coleman Low, on October 15th for home confinement. Now, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, it says right here that he's in the RRM in Miami. He's actually on home confinement. It says RRM because the RRM, or the halfway house, or really the re-entry manager, is administering his home confinement in Miami through the halfway house that's owned by Dismiss Charity.
But then again, this is 50 Cent we're talking about. The man lives for trolling, and he's got the money and spite to make even the wildest stunts look possible. Now Lil Meech made it crystal clear where his loyalty lies. He hopped on Instagram and said, "Before I asked God for anything, I made sure I asked him to bring my father home to my family. My prayers were answered. I love you, Dad. Death before dishonor." That last part, a warning. He was done playing middleman. He was Team Meech Sr. to the grave. And what's worse, it looked like they were now trying to milk the BMF name. With Rick Ross, the one man who never lifted a finger to keep the brand alive. When your enemy becomes your new best friend, that's when it gets personal. Ross wasted no time. As soon as Big Meech came home, he slid in like a snake, started planning a welcome home concert, got Meech to co-sign, and rolled out promo like it was the return of the Real. But let's be real. This wasn't about a concert. Ross saw an opening. He offered Meech a little check and used him as a pawn. It wasn't love. It was strategy. It was spite. And 50. He saw right through it.
The computer said, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say that.
And then there's another person 50 doesn't love. Floyd Mayweather. Y'all remember that video? So when Lil Meech pulled up to Lucky Strike Miami with Floyd Mayweather and Rose, we knew he really hit 50 where it hurts. But that's not all. Meech wasn't just there for fun. He came through with an exclusive merch drop from his Red Letters X Once collab, and even gifted Mayweather some pieces. To make things worse, Big Meech made a surprise cameo via phone, chatting it up with Ross and Floyd like they were old friends. Then Floyd took Lil Meech car shopping, then jewelry shopping, then they hit the arcades.
They had time for some jewelry shopping too.
That's insane. Dad, one life. Dad, happy birthday, champ. That's all. One of One Piece. One of One Piece. Money team.
Did you do it? Did you set to yours?
Yeah. Then they played some arcades. At last, they ended up at a Lakers game while they kicked it in LA.
Then they played some arcades.
Buy him and give him a bag and help him out and stuff like that, and he end up being in the same spot and probably worse right now. Because just say this, man. Just say if he would have held his head with 50 now, right? I don't know if 50 would have fucked with him, but 50 would have been like, yo, Tammy, leave that alone, ma. Don't put that on that dude. You know what I'm saying? And 50 wouldn't have been behind it. The only reason this shit grew the way it grew against Meech is because 50 was behind.
Now you already know 50 doesn't play when it comes to loyalty, and seeing Lil Meech hanging with two of his biggest ops that set him off, he wasted no time clowning the situation, posting a video of Meech with Ross joking. He said, "You tell your pops I'm a lookout, what's the address, I'm going to send some wings over there." But of course 50 deleted it shortly after like he always does. But you know this hit deep. 50 didn't just fund Lil Meech's career. He might have saved his life. According to 50, Lil Meech wasn't just blowing money, he was blowing up on set. He wrote, "I thought about it, I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. I'm telling Mimi, I don't want him doing drug. He's telling him he used to do X, like it's cool. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab." Then 50 got into the messy details, alleging that Lil Meech showed up high on set so bad that everyone noticed. Russell Hornsby peeped. He was high as on set. He started throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the little ninjas had whippets in his truck. I said, "What the is whippets?" I look, it's the that be in baby guns to drive the point home. 50 even posted a video of Gene Deal co-signing his claims about Meech's behavior.